Let's talk about that.
For heaven's sakes, Mike.
Have a seat, Kim.
Where's Perlman when you need him? Hi. Can everyone hear me all right? Yeah?
I'm gonna start things off with just a couple of things. First of all, you and I met about 2 years ago. It probably wasn't as earth-shattering as it was for
Were we
you,
in a bar?
for me. No, you were in town. You were in St. Catharines for the Big Brothers Big Sisters Ride for Kids' Sake. I do some TV work locally here for Your TV. We used to call it Kojiko here. It's part of the Kojiko Corporation, rebranded as Your TV. My name is Mike Balsam, for those that don't know me.
Say hi to Mike.
Hello, everybody. But you love to do that charity work, and you love to do a lot of work up here in Canada, where you were born.
Yeah, I have to say that I got into this business just to be, the best actor I could be, and art and love and all that stuff that goes along with plays and theater and then films and movies. But I had no interest to be a celebrity. I could care less. I really mean that from the bottom of my heart. But I was always that guy. Oh, you're the guy on Last Play. Oh, you're the guy from The Client. Oh, you're the guy on Entourage. But you do something like Sons of Anarchy, and it changes.
That must have changed your life, right?
It changed my life. And what it did, for the good and for the bad, it made me a celebrity. So the one thing I could do to keep my heart rate down and not be, when you're having your picture taken all the time now, which I do happily because I do love my fans, it's the charity work. And charity work, we should all, and we all do, give back. You don't have to be a celebrity, but shame on the ones that don't. Because if someone wants to take a picture with me as Tig Trager or Wex from Black Hawk Down or all these parts I played, and then cancer research is benefited from that, or Big Brothers Big Sisters, or Creative Kids, or the USO tours I've done. I mean, seriously, I love giving back. Now, and we all do, right? Canadians, good for us, right? And I would be remiss if I didn't say, like, America's going through just such, I don't even know what's going on, but the people I know in America and the people I hang out with are such beautiful givers back to the community and givers back to the environment and givers back to all the, like, the animal rights and all that stuff. And so, good for those people in America, too, who do that, because I love you all.
Do you have a community of Canadians that you connect with down
Who are Canadians? Who are they?
But are there other Canadians that you connect with down in Hollywood?
Yeah, we hang out. We're scared of America. Yeah, we hang out. We hang out. We talk hockey. We talk about the CFL. We talk about,
Nobody knows what the hell you're talking about other than you.
In Hamilton, what the hell's going on? I mean, Jesus, right? Grey Cup, is that what you said? Too early to tell. But no, yeah, of course, yeah.
There's another local connection. I'm looking at your bio today, and I didn't realize this, but I remember in 1986, I was a student at Niagara College in Welland, and some of our students were asked, I was in radio and television, some of the students were asked to help out to participate in the shooting of a movie here in in the Niagara area in St. Catharines.
With Nick Cage.
The Boy in Blue. You were in that movie.
The Boy in Blue.
So you were here in St. Catharines shooting in 1986.
You're darn tootin'. That was my very first movie.
Wow.
And I learned how to be cut out of a movie. I didn't know I was just a big theater guy in Stratford, as you know, youngest Macbeth ever, and Arturo Ui, and all the theater I'd done in Canada. It was time to do so I did a movie. I got paid $850 for one day.
You were on your way.
that was so much money back then, right? And I had one scene where we were in a little wagon, and I was the guy, of course, with the bottle of booze. So I remember I had 4 lines, but the director kept saying to me, Kim, make sure you look at the camera, make sure you look, because Nick Cage was out doing his thing, and I'm supposed to be cutting him down or making a bet on him, whatever. But I was so in it, I was so method, I was so internal, that I basically did my lines to my bottle. And so they got cut out. So I learned, no, when they say, look at the camera, Kim, try and look at the camera. So you stay in the movie.
Do you have memories of St. Catharines, your time in
No.
St. Catharines? Not at all.
Next question. I love St. Catharines. I drive by it to get to Ridgeway. I got a really good buddy who lives in Ridgeway. You know where Ridgeway is, right?
Yeah.
Do you know Jim McDonald?
Stop it.
Let's hug it out right now. Let's hug it out.
Oh, wait. Okay, Kim, I'm going to take a picture of this.
No, seriously.
Yeah, he's one of my best
Can
buddies.
I get a picture of the two of you?
I just played golf with him yesterday.
But
Right?
he's my cousin.
Oh, well, hi, cousin. Here you go.
Just so you know, Carolyn's here. She's helping us out. She's also from Kojiko.
Nice to meet you.
No, seriously, I'm not even joking. Like,
Yeah. I just saw him yesterday. We played golf yesterday with Shirley and Bill Hockey. Yeah.
Small world. Small world. So I know...
That's called a bonus in my profession right there.
Wow. Bad Blood, newer series. You played a member of the Rizzuto family crime family. What was that like working with Anthony LaPaglia?
Yeah, so, when Sons ended, right, we'll talk about Sons in a sec here, but when that ended, it was time for all of us, from Tommy to me to Ron to Charlie, everyone just to spread their wings. So I'm certainly wasn't looking for a new series right away. Got right back into, movies 24/7, and I even did a play this year. I don't know if you guys knew that, but I did Jerusalem, which was kind of amazing. But Bad Blood was brought to me by Mark Montefiore at True Metric Media about 2 years ago. And it's the story based on truth about Vito Rizzuto, right? One of the biggest mobsters in the world, let alone Canada for sure, from Montreal. And he had a sidekick, Irish, blue eyes, sometimes green, depending on how much red wine I've had the night before. But he was a fictionalized guy to come in to tell this story, a 6-part miniseries that we shot 2 years ago. It was on City last fall that Mike just said. It did so well. It was so amazing that we are now doing the second season. 8 shows. Where's Nick? Is Nick Haskin here? Oh, there's Nick. There's my driver, 24/7. So you had a Nick right there.
Hey, Nick.
His beautiful wife, Donna. So he's my bodyguard when I'm on the road. So basically, we're filming right now. And second season, we're about halfway through. We shoot a lot of it in Sudbury and some in Montreal. You can tell, sorry, Nick, he's from Sudbury, but I love Montreal. And no, I love Sudbury too. But anyway, Bad Blood 2, it's going to be so exciting. You guys have no idea what's coming. If you've seen the first season, you're just going to be blown away at season 2.
A lot of people want to know, will there ever be another Sons of Anarchy series?
That question gets asked so much, right, guys? For you fans of Sons, I mean, what a show, right? Like, what a.
Like deep down inside, it's a show about family. It's a show about bonds, about betrayal. During was it 7 seasons or 8 seasons? 7 seasons. During those 7 seasons, how much of a family did that cast become? Because I look at you guys in the media now, I look at you at events like this, and you all seem to be continuing to spend time together, continuing to work together. I think it was 2 years ago with the Big Brothers ride. Another cast member was with you up here on that ride as well.
Yeah, Booney and Theo's come to do a couple with me as well. I can't even make a joke about this, even though I like to make jokes as much as I can. We got along so fucking well. I mean, how is that even possible? I mean, Ron Perlman, right? Big Daddy. I mean, he's such an amazing human being and such an amazing actor. Charlie came into his own. Katie Seagal, and then me and Booney and Tommy and Ryan and Theo and Unser and Maggie Siff. I mean, she had a tough gig with all us testosterone flying around. Oh, wait a minute. The women had more testosterone than the men did on that show. So I can't even kid. It was just the greatest family. And like you just mentioned, we did events together, we did charities together, we rode together, we did everything together. I mean, there was dinners we would have, and the restaurant would tip off TMZ and the press, and we'd have, vans that would just come in on us, and cameras would be out, and all it took was for me or Ron or Tommy to stand up and go, not tonight, and they would just drive away because we needed time to ourselves and we didn't want to be inundated with photographs because there was a lot going on in that show. And Kurt Sutter created a really crazy environment with all his brilliance, all his dark internal storylines that we don't even know where they came from half the time. But it went by like that. And people say to me, I mean, I've met so many beautiful people today and go, do you miss it? Do you miss it? And I go, no, I don't. But I'll never forget it. I'll never forget that show. That show I know Charlie feels that way. I know all of us probably do. Never forget that show, but you guys have to understand, it got so violent that last season. It got so violent, I'd say to Charlie, who are we killing in now and why? And Charlie would go, if you don't know Coatsy, I don't know. And so it just became a madness sea of revenge and secrets. And that's exactly the way Kurt wanted it to go down. And so congratulations, Kurt. But for us, it was the perfect time to end because it had gone just, I mean, what a great show, eh? And the reviews just went like that. The viewership went like that. It never went down. It never went medium. It just kept going up, and we'll always have that.
Do you think it was hard for Kirk to find a resolution for the ending?
I don't think so. I mean, if Kurt was here right now, I could be wrong, but I think amazingly talented showrunners, and I have one right now on Bad Blood too, Michael Conovis, they know the beginning in the Bible. We call it the Bible. You know, when a showrunner sits down with Paramount or FX, they want to see a Bible. It's not the Bible. It's a Bible of storyline, where it's going to go. And I know for a fact Kurt Sutter went in there with that Hamlet-esque storyline. Hamlet was Charlie, Katie was Gertrude, Ron was, you know, and we all had like little fictional, oh, who could he be, or who's that, or, you know, but it was a Hamlet story. Kurt knew exactly how it was going to end. Kurt knew exactly how it was going to begin. But those seasons 2 through 6, man, I think he got, as the wind was blowing or as the river was running, he changed it up in there, and he wasn't afraid to do that, and it was pretty, well, you guys, whoever saw the show, you know what happens.
You know, you bring up a good point because, you know, I talked about the show being really about family. You talk about it being very Hamlet-esque. You know, when I first started watching the show, I would talk to people about it, and they would say, oh, yeah, that's that show about the bikers and all the murders and all that. But it wasn't. It was so much deeper than that.
It was a character-driven story. I mean, it just really was. And to your point, Mike, I mean, I did 2, maybe 3 USO tours happily. I'm so anti-war, but I'm very pro-Canadian troop, pro-NATO, pro-American troop. The troops, man. I mean, they don't want to go in harm's way, and I know there's whatever, but I'm just so pro-troop. Anyway, they would tell us constantly before going downrange, before, you know, maybe going off to never coming back, that our show was such a huge, impactful brotherhood. They kept calling it the brotherhood. And it made them feel so good to watch our show before they went out and did their recognizance and all that stuff. And then when they come back and thank their lucky stars they were back, they would binge the show again. Cops, lawyers, college kids, gay, straight, married. I mean, women and men could watch that show. Who doesn't want to see Charlie's bum? I want to see his bum, you know. I did see his ass a lot, actually. Too much. But, oh, damn, we had fun, yeah.
A little bit of inside information. Let me know, was there anybody in that cast that had to learn to ride a bike before getting the part?
Everybody except for D.L. Boone and me. And trust me, it showed. I mean, I'm not going to mention, but Charlie became an amazing rider. That kid could flat out ride. He couldn't the first season, but man, when he learned, he was like, but my nickname on set, you probably know this, is Safety First. I was the only one, I mean, oh God, thank you. I mean, I'm not religious at all, but thank you to the spirits out there, because we should have wiped out, we should have been seriously injured so many times in that show from idiotic riding. I would stop shots in the middle and go, cut, Tommy, why are you dragging your feet? Because my shoes are slippery. Don't drag your feet. Go to the rocks, wipe them off, get some Coca-Cola, sticky. Don't drag your feet. And, you know, why are you out of formation? Boy, we were like synchronized swimming, though, by the end. We really, on action, we really had it going on. But the boys would get really pissed off at me for stopping the shots once in a while. But deep down, I knew what I was doing with safety, because that's all I cared about.
Some of the riding looked very choreographed, almost poetic in a way.
Yeah, and I think it needed to be. I remember being, you know, because I've been on a bike since I was 9 years old. There was a scene where the Russians were after us, and Sutter said, I'm the only one who can ride and shoot at the same time. That was kind of cool. In fact, that was really cool. because I'm right-handed, but you got to keep your hand on the throttle. So I pulled it with my left, and fired, looking. It was cool. Yeah.
Let's start taking some questions from the audience. Carolyn's going to bring the microphone around. Is there somebody that would like to ask a question? Yeah, go ahead, Carolyn.
I know we've been talking a lot about Sons of Anarchy, but I was going to ask you what it's like doing comedies. I seen you in Goon with Sean William Scott. Died laughing, thought it was hilarious.
Thanks.
And how is it different from going from action shooting to doing the comedy? You were the coach.
You know, I love comedy. I love comedy the most. People say, what's your favorite part? I go, I don't have one. What's the most? I don't, my brain doesn't think that way. Like, I don't have a favorite. I'm so fortunate to have stumbled into acting at 19 years old. I was just this redneck hockey player who wanted to be a history teacher. Took a drama class so I could finally meet some girls. I was such a redneck in high school and muscle cars, and I mean, girls were, well, they're still scared of me. But you know, I thought I'm bound to meet a couple of girls in college. And, you know, first acting class, there was 3 guys and 22 women. I thought, I'm in the right place. And it all worked out. I had 25 plays in college. Anyway, my point is, look, Robert De Niro, who, you know, Brando and De Niro are 2 of my boys that I just loved growing up and couldn't get enough of. De Niro always said, you're going to be typecast. Don't fight it. It's fucking, especially when you start out, you're going to be typecast. I fucking played a gangster, though. And so I never worried about this face or these cheekbones or these eyes. And I did, Last Boy Scout, The Client, Innocent Blood, tough guys, tough guys, tough guys. But you know what, bro? As people got to know who I was, when people got to know my acting, I couldn't wait to pick my nose and eat it. I couldn't wait to be funny. I couldn't wait. And I bring humor, certainly in The Last Boy Scout, certainly in Ba-Boomba Baby, that was me. I mean, you know, Bad Boys. I did a favor for Michael Bay. Please do the first scene over. They didn't have a first scene with Lawrence and Will Smith. So they brought me in, and I made that all up. You know, about the comedian, and I suck, and you know, hitting the curb, and I don't know. I love comedy. That's my point. And Goon, 1 and 2, I mean, I was too old to be a player, but I certainly wasn't too old to be a coach, so damn, that was fun.
Your criticism to the hockey players was
Thanks.
the best. I loved it.
Thanks.
Another question from the audience? Anybody? Gentleman in the blue, Carolyn.
Did you find it hard to go from theater to...
I'm not getting that microphone.
Did I find it hard to go from theater to screen? I didn't really know what hard was, right? I mean, I'm not kidding you. I was so not afraid to fail. I was so soaking up everything that I could possibly soak up. I remember seeing Taxi Driver in college, second year college, Taxi Driver. I remember, and I looked at De Niro, and I watched that, and I just said, I want to do that. I didn't understand, but I want to do that. And so my first real foray into screen acting was Night Heat. Is there anyone here who's old enough to know
CTV?
Scott Hylands?
Yeah.
And Jeff,
Yeah.
right?
I'm hearing the theme
Jeff
song, but I'm not going to sing
Wincott,
it.
Scott Hylands, Night Heat, cop show, mid-'80s. And I mean this, like, I was always an internal actor. Even in my stage, I was always internal, always wanting to feel everything and listen. See, these young actors, you know, they think they know what method is. They think they know, oh, wow, I'm going to go sleep out in the cold and I'm going to feel that. They don't have a clue. It's acting is listening. You have, like, I don't know what Mike and I are going to say right now, right? If you don't listen, you can't be a good actor. So I knew that. But I didn't know what a mark was. I didn't know what a clapper was. So I didn't know those things. But I remember auditioning for Sonny Grosso, the real French Connection, Sonny Grosso, who produced that show, in Toronto, young actor, Stratford, all that stuff. They brought me in for a 2-line villain. And I walk in the room, and there's 8 producers, and Claire Walker, one of the biggest casting people in the world, love Claire. I walk in, and Grosso looked at me, and they looked at me, and I only had 2 lines. You know what I did? I won't do it here because I'm too old now, but I sat on a chair like this, and I rocked back. I remember De Niro did it in Taxi Driver, where he's in his apartment, and he's rocking back, and the TV was on, and he's rocking, and you thought he was going to fall, and I did that for the audition. And so all of a sudden I had their attention, because I didn't know if I was going to fall, but I had boots on, cowboy boots on, and then I walked out of the room. Claire comes running on, they go, hey, Kim, we have another part for you. Could you? And it was the lead bad guy. His name was Chet. That's a lie. Maybe it was. Chet was in The Last Boy Scout. That's who I played. It doesn't matter. Some guy. But he had like 8 big scenes and super violent, super funny. And I remember going to set, even when I wasn't filming, and, oh, hi, little one. To the baby, the little beautiful baby. You don't have to leave, sweetie. Anyway, I truly remember getting the part and going to set early to find out what a boom, putting on a mic, and I did all that stuff really hard. And, 65 movies later and all this TV and going back to stage this year, it's all worked out right. I mean, pretty happy.
What do you consider when you look back on your career, other than Sons of Anarchy? What was the big break?
It all was a big break for me. I mean, I'm so proud Canadian. I didn't marry an American. I married my college sweetheart. We're still married, which is a miracle. It's a miracle. 34 years of marriage. I've known Diana for 40 years of my life. Think about that. 42 years of, Jesus. 2 beautiful girls we have. Like, they're stunning rock stars, both of them. Not rock stars, but...
And you didn't name them Dawn and Fawn.
I didn't. I should have. No, so think about it. U of S, Toronto, signing with a big agent. The big agent goes, we're going to get you right into film and television. I go, no, we're not. More theater. I need more theater. I want to be a better actor. Theater. So he listened to me because he was my agent working for me, and Gary Gotti's gone now, but he was amazing back in the day. And then all of a sudden, all these New York reviewers saw my work at Stratford and said, you've got to come to New York. I did. I didn't have any O1, H1, nothing. And signed with a big agency down there, and I started working. I did Dracula in Atlanta. I went right to Broadway, took over for Aidan Quinn on Streetcar Named Desire, so I got to play Stanley Kowalski, Circle in the Square for 5 months. So that's where it all began. That's when you're on Broadway, and you're 28 years old, and you're playing Stanley. Everyone took notice of that. So that's when it all began with Last Boy Scout, The Client, Innocent Blood, O1, H1s, got my green card from Waterworld. So that allowed my wife and my kids to get their green card. And now we're American citizens as well, we're both. And it's just become extremely easy to cross the borders and work in both countries happily. But it's all because of my complete lack of fear. I just wasn't scared of anything. And the one thing America does have better than we do, not much these days, but the one thing that they do is they're not afraid of stars. They want you to be from Romania. They want you to be from Canada. They want you to be from England or Africa. Stars. They want stars there. They want to give opportunities to people who are super good violin players, super great singers. They welcome that. Canada does too, but not in anywhere near the same scale. They don't even know, how great they have it with the Sheila McCarthys of this country and Colin Fiors, And I'm always promoting Canadian talent because it's really good. So,
any other questions from the audience? Right over here.
Prison Break. There's a question I don't get very often. Sullins? No, Sullins. He was an asshole. He was a jerk. What? Yeah, poor Mahone. Billy Fichtner, right? My BFF. Billy Fichtner, for all you beautiful people from Buffalo. Billy and I did a movie in Buffalo last year called Cold Brook. It's going to be coming out this fall. Keep your eyes open. It's going to be absolutely amazing.
You were 2 blocks from my house, and I heard about it. And
2 blocks.
I came flying out. I was like, if somebody don't come get me out of the house, I'm driving this thing down the steps.
So, did we see you?
I don't know if you saw me, but I saw you.
Oh, good for you. I looked better than Fichtner, didn't I?
We're over above state,
Of course we were.
and I lived 2 blocks from
Well, there you go. I love those stories. Yeah, so Billy, we're BFFs from Black Hawk Down. That's where we met. And he got me on Prison Break. He said, you got to come and do this show. I said, do I have to audition? He goes, yes, you do. I went, oh, Jesus. So I did, and I got the part. And I think I did 4 or 5, maybe 6. Huh? Yeah. Yeah, I think I did 5 or 6 shows. But the great thing about that was I got to work with Fichtner, right? So that was cool. Yeah, I had a really good time on that. I had really short hair. I looked really odd, but yeah. I think I look so strange. Anyway.
Next question? Yeah.
When you worked on Sons of Anarchy, is there one scene in particular that really stood out to you?
See, no, I don't answer those questions. You've been hearing me. I have no favorites. I have no. But I will say that the death of my daughter in that pit. I mean, who thinks of stuff like that? I mean, true story. I'll never forget. I was in New York, and Sutter was with me and a few other people, and Kurt sort of pulled me aside and said, I'm going to tell you something about the beginning of season 5. And I said, sure. And he went on to describe that entire scene. And I'm not kidding you guys. Like, I'm sure I'm a tough guy, but I'm a pussycat too. I teared up. I really teared up right there in the bar with Sutter and thinking, how am I going to do that? Like, how am I going to do that? And I have 2 beautiful daughters in real life, right? So my whole method, internal thing. Anyway, true story. We get the script at least a month before we started to shoot. I have a buddy in LA where I live who's a therapist, an amazing therapist. And I get to talk to him all the time with certain characters of the human condition. And I always bring him a couple of beautiful bottles of red, and we really get into it. And I showed him the script. He sat there, and he just went. And then we started to talk. And he said the most amazing thing about that scene to him was how beautiful Sutter had the beats from anger to shock to numbness to fighting or fleeing to crying to you'd rather be dead. Like, seriously. So for me, we filmed it over two nights. I didn't go home. I stayed in a little hotel in a really seedy part of LA. Lost my voice from the screaming. But that was some of the most painful internal stuff I've ever done. And we were also supportive of everybody when we went to the premiere that September. You can imagine this, right? Like, you think that we see everything, like the stuff Katie did, and we're not in it, well, we wouldn't see it. The stuff I would do, like, the only people who saw, even Charlie, Boone, and Tommy, who showed up later that night when I'm rocking and crying, and then they come and see her burned in the pit, they didn't see my work from the night before. So the first time anyone could see it, I'd seen it because I had to do some looping ADR, was at the premiere. And I'm not kidding, we were like this with everybody. Like when Katie got raped, I could just go on and on. Every season had a something. Well, that was Tig's season that season. And with Pope and all that, it was a really bizarre season. But honestly, everyone stood up and looked at me and came over and shook my hand and kissed me, and as we had done the seasons before and after, if it was Katie's or Ron's or Charlie's, but that happened to be Tig's first show, right? And it was, ooh.
What can you say about Tig's relationship with Venus Van Dam?
Yeah, it was great. I mean, I don't know why she's not here right now. What a rack on that woman. What a rack. Look, you know what? Honestly, like, I'm just gonna get so, I'm always honest, really, but thank fuck for that Venus-Tig relationship in season 7, because seriously, for Tig, it was just a lot of violent stuff, but that's called acting, man. I mean, that's called pure, uninhibited, 2 straight men one who shaved her legs and her chest and a wig and high heels and put on a rack like that weren't real, and one of the toughest guys Sons of Anarchy ever birthed, falling in love. I mean, that shit only Kurt Sutter can come up with. But I'm telling you what, that scene where I come home and she's there and put on a dress, baby, and we got all emotional and hugging and stuff, that scene was showed before it aired to every big shot on the Fox lot. 220 people were in. John Landgraf stood up and he said, at FX, this is the kind of stuff we want to do. This is the kind of stuff we need to do. And this is why we are FX. Watch this. And they showed the entire thing. Dominic Pagoni, one of the best marketing people on the planet, called me after, said, everyone was crying. Everyone was... That night that we filmed that scene, I insisted that we did all those 3 scenes in the same day, 16 hours. All 3, just me and Walton. And we saved that one to the end. And I'm telling you what, you guys, there was 85 set men and women who were just, we got a standing ovation. Then Walton and I, it's all done. I said, take them off. Take those boobs off and let's go outside.
He's a hell of an actor, Walton.
He's a great actor. So he did. He took the boobs off and took his wig off. And we each had a car to take us home that night because we knew it was going to be such a long night. And we smoked a pack of cigarettes. Sorry, don't tell my wife. And drank whiskey and talked about acting and love and relationships and acting. And you don't get to do that kind of stuff, right?
Gentleman in the blue?
Did you ever question a script or a treatment that you've received where you've read it and said, I don't...
In Sons?
Yeah, like to yourself and say, I don't really agree with it.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. I'll never forget, I think it was season 3 after, or was it season 2? Might have been 2. Donna's gone. Sorry, it was an accident. I didn't mean it. It was supposed to be Opie. Fuck. Anyway, that next season, I think it was season 2. Yeah, it was, because that's when Gemma gets raped by the KKK and all that horrible, horrible stuff that was going on there. And Gemma had no one to open up to. And I remember reading the 9th or 10th script, and in it, it said, you know, Tig and Gemma get it on in the closet. And I put it down. I said, I'm out. I'm not. I can't. I'm the sergeant at arms. I would never do that to the president of the club. So Kurt said, come to my office. So I did and sat down. And he goes, first of all, she comes on to you. You don't come on to her. She's so messed up. She's so troubled. Tig's always been tight with her. Clay and Tig have always been the tightest of the tight. She's coming on to you, and it just happens. It just happens. She'll be kissing you. It just happens. That's number one. Number two, in this world of bikedom, it's a crazy world, man. It's a crazy world of sex, drugs, rock and roll. It really is crazy. So, right? And then he goes, but what happens right after that scene? I go, I don't know. I put the script down. I didn't read it anymore. I think it's just wrong. He goes, you go immediately to tell Opie that you killed his wife. Right away. Kill me. You want to be killed. You just have him stab you. It doesn't. Tig's had it. He's had it with the cover-up. He's had it with his feelings. Gemma's just come on to him. He can't go through with it. He's looking at a picture of little Jack's on the wall. And so Kurt talked me, walked me off the ledge a little bit, and he was right. He was right. We had to keep reminding ourselves that, and people like you, like all our greatest fans, oh, they got into it, oh, that would never happen, or, oh, it's a fictional story, people. It's called television. It's television. So, yeah, that was one time.
The gentleman here?
That was Sutter. That's Kurt's own problem. One of many. One of 1,000. Yeah, that was Sutter, man. I mean, I'm so glad he gave me that oddity. That was so great to play Weirded Out with Dolls. Do you remember that one scene I had, season 3, when I'm at that house, Gemma's dad, And there was one scene where all those little dolls are behind me, and I tried to, I was looking around, no one's around. I tried to get close to the cabinet to just get over my fear and put my nose up there like that. It was like, no. I had so much fun playing that game.
You had to drive the bikes, and it happened to be a doll warehouse.
Yeah. Yeah. That was near the end. Me and Ryan, or yeah.
You had a second question?
Yeah, Bob and Kurt. Yeah, the two of them. Yeah. Yeah, no. Yeah, no, they were amazing. The music was just absolutely phenomenal.
And Katie Segal sang.
Katie sang a lot of tunes. Yeah. Yeah, no, it was incredible.
I thought, yeah, gentleman in the aisle there.
Do we all like hang out? No. No. Yes, of course we do. No, when we can. It's really it's always a. That's why one of the reasons why these beautiful little happenings here are one of the times that Tommy and Boone and Ronnie and I and Ryan can hang out. Theo once in a while. Charlie's pretty tough for Charlie now. He's pretty.
He can't go anywhere.
He can't even go out of his house. Just when I think I'm kind of a celebrity, try and be Charlie Hunnam right now. So, but we love each other. We really do. Okay, we got to wrap this up,
Go ahead.
I think. Yeah.
Last question.
Yeah.
Okay, I was going to say, there's been talk about prequels, sequels, Jax's dad, Jax's sons, the Mayans having their own show. What do you think would be the most successful?
I have no idea. All I know is they are doing a Mayan spin-off. They've filmed it now.
It's been in the works for a while.
It has.
Will you be in it?
Will I be in it?
Appearance or something?
I don't just make appearances. If they ever, I'm not going to say anything. But basically, the 7 years that we had as Sons of Anarchy, that will be iconic memories for all you beautiful fans and us who did it. No one will forget it. But I do love that Sutter and John Landgraf, who's the greatest, he's just the greatest runner of any network ever at FX. I think they know what they're doing, and it's going to be a Mayan spinoff. We know who lived in Sons of Anarchy, and we know who's dead. So I guess it's always open to many things, but I am really hoping and wish them the best. I hope it's amazing. Emilio Rivera, who's played Alvarez, right? He's in it. I mean, he's just the greatest ever. Love him so much, and so I wish them well. But there'll never be another Sons of Anarchy. That was pretty cool. That
You
show.
can't always go back, and when you've done something so perfectly done, to try and recreate it again, just doesn't.
Yeah, but you guys know Kurt Sutter's mind a little. He doesn't want to recreate anything. He's into doing something. I think sure they're on bikes and it's another club, right? But it's the Latino element now. It's not going to be in LA. It's going to be in Arizona, New Mexico. It's going to be by the border. It's going to be a different drama, different feel. But let's see. Let's just see how it does. I really hope it's great.
Kim Coates, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, can I just brag? Can I brag about myself for one thing? Just because I think it's so cool. For Bad Blood that Mikey brought up, the first season, this past March I was nominated for Best Actor. It's my fourth. No, that's not it. That's not what I'm bragging about. But that's part of it. No, so I'm 0 for 4, by the way. I think they should give me one eventually. But I just got nominated. And it's the first time ever in Canada where, the Tonys in New York are the Dora Maver Moore Awards in Toronto. I was nominated for Best Actor in Jerusalem, being back on stage. So in the same year, Best Cinema, Best Actor on Stage. That's cool. That's cool. I don't know if Constance is still here, but I don't know. Did anyone see Jerusalem in this audience? Did anyone see it? Oh, there's Gail. Hi, Gail. How good was that play? There you go. Hi, Kira. You made it. Anyway, that's the godmother of one of my oldest daughter, Gail O'Gorman, and her beautiful daughter. From Hamilton. Well, she's actually from Ireland / Toronto, but she's Hamiltoned out now. Anyway, so that's cool, right? So that's pretty cool. And I think the awards are June 25th. And they're giving me the day off on Bad Blood so I can be there with my daughter. We got nominated for all the 6 big things: actor, play, director, set, lighting, and ensemble. All of my co-stars got nominated for Best Ensemble, so excited. Thank you all. I love you all very much.
Thank you for watching the Convention Junkies coverage of the 2018 Niagara Falls Comic Con. Please like, comment and subscribe to see more, and let us know below what you think of this video. If you would like to help us with future projects, please visit our Patreon page.